What's going on, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here, coming to you live from the inside of my garage. And today I'm going to show you some amazingly profitable items that you can put on eBay and Amazon. And what we're going to be looking at are things that I found over the weekend or the past week. So anyways, I'm the Bonafide Hustler, and on a part-time basis, I am flipping things that I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets. Let me get this echo out of the way. And yeah, and I go to thrift stores as well, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. Today, we're really going to primarily talk about eBay and Amazon. So there is a live feed right now. If you're catching it live, you're lucky enough to catch it live, you can interact. But there are a lot of, a fair amount of items to go through right here. And like I said, I picked them up in the past week, so I think we should just jump right into it, as long as you guys can hear me. So let me do a little audio test. If you can hear me, let's get with the program. All right. Yeah, the hair is getting long. So what's going on? Let me know if it sounds good. It's a little overexposed on the light here. Sorry about that. But I'm gonna start it off with actually something that's really cool. That's such a sleeper find from a thrift store. So I really want to show it to you guys. I've made a couple. I've flipped this thing 3 times already, and it's a really good sleeper find. So if you don't know what a sleeper find is, it's something that goes under the radar. It's yeah, it's just something that's so under the radar. It's a great bolo, be on the lookout kind of item. All right, so there's a particular type of shoe from Brooks, and it's called the Beast. All right, so this is a pair of Brooks Beast, and they're really, really tough to find. They show Beast on the side right here, as you can see. It'll show Beast, and then it'll show Beast right on the tongue right there. Outside of that, you might not know it's worth pretty much of any money, right? But a shoe like this typically can go for about 75 to 100 bucks. I'm not even kidding. The very first pair of Brooks Beast that I bought were like 10 bucks from a Goodwill, and I was able to sell them for $100. I'm not even kidding. They were in decent condition. Now, if you happen to find a pair of Brooks Beast and you want to kind of supercharge the deal a little bit, if that shoe happens to be like an E or a double E, that's pretty much your key into, like, maybe you should ask like 119, 109, that kind of stuff. But a Brooks Beast like this, in this color, this colorway, everything like that, should go for about 75 to about 80 bucks used condition. I paid $14 for these things at a thrift store. So I'll be moving these on eBay. So just so you remember, Brooks Beast. It's like, Brooks makes other amazing shoes too. Like there's some glycerin ones, there's Cascadia, which are good, right? But the Beast are a little bit harder to find. But when you find them, they're, amazingly profitable shoes. So I bet you didn't know that. All right. So yeah, everyone's like saying stuff about my hair. Okay, so I went to garage sales last Friday, and I got these 3 things for 27 bucks. They're worth about 50 a piece on eBay for the most part. We have a brand new with tags, genuine suede leather, kind of nice little Aztec little jacket right here. Pretty nice. Thought this was pretty good pickup for 9 bucks. Definitely sells on eBay. There's proven ones that sell on eBay for 47 to about 50 bucks. I mean, I do free shipping, and so the ones that I saw were like 38 bucks with $12 or $13 of shipping. It's basically 50 bucks. Buy it now, free shipping. That's the way I look at that. So right here, we have a very interesting looking jacket. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's going to go for crazy money, blah, blah, blah. It's going to go for about 50 bucks, okay? So which is not, to me, it's not crazy money, but still good, amazing profit, considering I paid 9 bucks for it. It is a Wrangler brush popper, a really, really cool jacket. Maybe I should make a ride-along with this first. And for the people that have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, I do make ride-along videos, like videos where I show myself going around in the field to garage sales, thrift stores, and I do wacky things in the car. So maybe I should do a ride-along with this on and see the people's reactions, right? So pretty interesting. It's called a brush popper. They're basically ranch shirts. They're made of really, really thick cotton. It's almost like a canvas, honestly, but such a weird, neat color on this one. They make them in a couple of different colorways, this being the little bit harder one to find, but still just going to shake out around 50 bucks, honestly. So I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, it's going to be 100 or 70. Trust me, with the sold listings, it's about 50. Okay. So this one right here is a Miller jacket. Pretty interesting. A little bit harder to find. Insulated Miller jackets. These are some of the things that it's still ranch wear and everything like that, but a little bit on the older side. This right here is a little bit Aztec-y, neat colors on it, size medium. A little bit of a blemish right here, not a blemish, kind of like a tear. It's not a big deal. I still bought it for 9 bucks. I thought it was a good deal. I'm gonna probably put this in my antique booth, okay, for about 40 to 50 bucks. But nevertheless, I could probably move it on eBay. It's just that I think with this little thing right here, I'm gonna move it in the booth. So I thought it was pretty good. Okay, so there's that. While I was at a garage sale, I decided to take a stab on this. I think it was like $1. And it had a really, really old Levi's tag on it. So I'm going to hold it up to the camera, and you guys kind of tell me what you think. It is completely shredded out, this jacket. This will probably make it in my booth because it's really hard to, you know, kind of label what this is. You know, but this is the tag right here. I mean, it's a really odd-looking Levi's tag. The person in the car with me when they were riding along with me said it's more than likely like a vintage one. But anyways, pretty interesting. Levi's kind of like soft jackets. Probably going to ask about 20 to 30 in the booth for this one. Now, when you're looking for amazing profits to be made on eBay and Amazon, you got to look at certain things that might just be like under your radar, okay? Flip-flops, no one would ever think flip-flops could ever sell on eBay and stuff like that. But you know what the good thing is about flip-flops, especially women's flip-flops, is they're typically a first-class rate. And if you're hustling the right flip-flops, you can, you know, turn 50 cents into about 25 to 30 bucks. So that's these right here, Chaco's slip-on sandals, right? 50 cents at a garage sale. It's about 25, 30 with a first-class shipping rate. So, okay, no more than maybe $3.50, $4 for the most part to move these things from point A to point B, thus giving you about maybe $15 to $17 in your pocket. Now, while this doesn't go currently with my own metrics, this was a pickup of my brother's, and I wanted to share it with you guys here. So, you know, you don't miss out on Chaco sandals. This is probably the best sandal to really hustle when you are, you know, bringing things to eBay and you're trying to make money. So this is a good one. Now, certain Tevas are really good. Keen, there's certain Keen ones that are really good as well. But it seems like Chacos are pretty good. I would say like 80% of Chacos are going to be pretty much worth your time to resell, as long as you pick them up for really cheap. So there we go. I actually own several pairs of Chacos, and they are very, very good sandals. They might not be the most comfortable sandals, but they're definitely the most durable sandals, right? Okay, so my brother also picked up these two bats. Forgot what he paid for them. I want to say it was like maybe 20 bucks, and each bat's probably going to be 50 or more. So bats are one of those things that you should definitely look into, and the more rare the composite material is, or the more rare the material, whether it's scandium or something like that, you know, you probably want to look a little bit harder into those. The highest bat score I've ever sold on, the highest bat I've ever sold on eBay was $399.99. It was a $1 bat found at a church garage sale. That was last year. So, and the funny thing is, like a week after that, I sold one for $100, which was the second bat I found at the church garage sale for $1. I sold that one for $100. So I'm not saying all bats are, you know, worth your time. In fact, you could speculate that maybe 60% of the bats aren't worth your time, maybe even 70%, right? But educating yourself on certain brands like DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Easton, what's another one? It starts with an M. There's one that starts with M that's pretty, I think it's Miken, M-I-K-E-N or something like that. So you can look up those brands and start to realize like what people are looking for. Don't be messing with kid bats either for the most part. You want to get adult bats for softball or baseball. All right. So there's that. Sleeper things at garage sales that most people, you might not even look at it. Anytime you see like a neat hardcover book, and I'm always picking up books when it has to do with fashion, right? Here's a Chanel book right here. Anytime I've ever hustled a fashion book, right, when it deals with Donna Karan or Chanel or any of those other ones where it's a really detailed kind of history of a person, right, an influential person in the fashion world, typically that's going to sell for decent money. This one right here, I want to say the Chanel book is going to sell for about 23 to 25 bucks in this condition right here. This was a $1 book at a garage sale, 66,000 rank or something like that. Oh no, let me back up. 630,000 rank. But in books on Amazon, 630K is not bad at all. That might take a month at best, you know. So that is something that you might want to be looking at when you're going to garage sales. You know, if you go to a garage sale and all you're looking for are sporting goods or shoes or shirts, and then you're walking by a pile of books, you know, you could be doing yourself a huge disservice, because you got to stop and at least look at some of the interesting books out there, the hardcovers. And the interesting thing about the Amazon seller app is that if you can't find a barcode or anything like that, it's not like all hope is lost. And I'm definitely not saying scan every single book, because as you know, if you go to a garage sale, there are a ton of CDs, there are a ton of books, there are a ton of VHS tapes, there are a ton of DVDs. Like, where do you start, right? I like to start at hardcovers that look, you know, relatively interesting, or comprehensive something hardcover, not like recipes or anything like that. Although I have sold some recipe books for good money, but for the most part, if I look at recipe type books, which are very common in garage sales, I would say that maybe 20% of the ones I've ever scanned have been worth it, right? But when I look at fashion books, I mean, nearly all of them that I've scanned have been worth it. Here we have, the funny thing I say, we have a Luby's Recipes and Memories book right here. This one's like 630,000, around the same kind of rank as this one. And this one was $1 selling for like $16 or $17 in this condition. That's pretty good. So anyways, and yes, there's some other people saying that classic rock icons and books about that. Yes, you're right. So good to see everybody in the feed. Vans slip-ons are just as good as sandals. I agree with you, Thriller Gorilla Pika. All right, so let's go to the next item right here. There's so many cool items that I found, actually. You know, this is something that people might not even really think about sending into Amazon, but I'm certainly going to do it. But I only do it when I find a couple things, right? And if I find a third thing, it's kind of like, all right, cool, I'm going to probably look that up. So digital cameras, really, really important to consider selling into Amazon. Whether it's outdated technology or whatever, it really doesn't matter. I like to stick with strong brands like Sony, certain Panasonic ones, Olympus, things like that. So what I'm looking for the actual camera. It doesn't have to have the strap, but I need the camera, okay? I need the camera and I need the lens cap. That's pretty important. So that's the very first things. I need the camera, I need the lens cap. There has to be some sort of way that I can test it. Now, most cameras that are worth sending into Amazon are going to be the type that have proprietary batteries, meaning they have a proprietary charger as well. So you're going to want to locate those two things. If you can't find that, it might not be worth your time to hustle because then you still have to locate it to send it in. Yes, you can actually try to power it on. If it powers on, it seems to be working. You might smoke up that last 3% of battery juice that's in there. But for the most part, you're really going to want to try to locate the proprietary charger, which looks like this, you know, usually. And a proprietary battery that should be in the camera, or you might get an extra one. Lucky enough to get an extra one right here. So this is one of the things that I was looking at a garage sale. I paid $10 for this thing, and on Amazon, in probably this condition, and even in the worst condition, it was yielding like $48 or so after all fees and everything like that, which is pretty good. 10 to 48 with a like 16,000 in camera rank, which isn't too bad. It's definitely going to sell within probably 3 to 6 months. But more important than that is it had the proprietary charger, the proprietary battery. It's got the lens cap. It has a strap that's great. It has a case, which I will not send it in the case. And then the third thing, if you're lucky enough to find the real third thing, is the transfer cable, right? The thing that you can actually transfer data over to a computer with. So that's kind of important, right? This one has a proprietary. It goes into the actual camera with this thing, which is kind of nuts because a lot of them don't have this. They have like a microphone-looking input kind of thing. So that's kind of important. You can say it comes with this. Now your listing, instead of being at $54 before fees, all of a sudden you can start charging maybe $64 or $68 or maybe $70. So the more complete your item is on Amazon FBA, the more you should be charging, right? Unless you want to get in and out really, really quick, which is okay, I guess. But for the most part, if I have a relatively super complete item outside of just the manual not being here, I'm going to command a little bit higher price, So $10, you can't go wrong. Yeah, and the funny thing is, right, most people, this is the reason why most people would probably not look at this thing, because it's 8.1 megapixels, and everyone's like, who the hell cares about 8.1 megapixels? And it does 1080 full HD video. Who cares about all this stuff, because it's literally like 5 or 10 years ago technology, and probably more than that. But some people still love these things, right? Some people have these, and it's like their camera, their go-to thing, and it malfunctions. That's only what they're looking for, is that same camera. So that's important to look for. I won't bring it. Oh, I guess I'll bring it up. So this is a really, really heavy boombox, and the only reason I really bought this one in this condition, because the tape player is busted, is that it was $1, right? I couldn't pass it up. I have a vintage booth, so like this will be perfect for the vintage booth, around $30 or so. Someone's gonna probably want to put it on some shelf, make their room look all cool and hip and all that kind of stuff, and maybe kind of clean it up a little bit. It's a Yorks, which is okay brand when it comes to boomboxes. But when you deal with boomboxes, 50% or more are going to have tape players that are busted. So make sure that you actually test them. Or if they're, in this case, like $1, and the person at the garage sale told me it doesn't work, like the tape player doesn't work, but everything else works, then at least that saves me like, all right, cool. But it's still $1. Like even if nothing worked, okay, I'd still buy it, because it's still hella cool, and it would probably sell for like $20 in my booth, maybe like $15 or so. For someone that just wants this on a shelf, who cares if it works, right? So anyways, yeah, Ghetto Blaster. That's a good term to put in eBay. So you want to put Ghetto Blaster, Boombox, great terms to be putting in eBay. All right, something that I will not be moving on eBay unless I kind of know a little bit more about it, but I don't know much about this stuff. But I decided to pick it up because it was only what was this, like $2 or something? It's like, I couldn't say no to it, right? We have a flying swan thing, right? It's a glass bowl flying swan kind of thing. No cracks that I can see. Pretty good condition. Blown glasses, you know, definitely not super, super cheap stuff. So I would think in my booth, what do you guys think? I think I could probably sell this thing in my antique booth for, and it's not even antique vintage or whatever, but I could put it there. I'm thinking like 30 to 50 bucks. Now, if you want me to put it on eBay, let me know in the feed. What do you guys think I could charge on eBay for this thing right here? Murano glass is what Fireside One says. Sweet, it's Murano glass. That's amazing. I actually have no idea what that is, but you know, I'll pretend like it's really good. So that, yeah, let me know a little bit more about that. Thought it was pretty cool. Had to pick it up. All right, things that are good for the booth, eBay. Vintage t-shirts do well if you can find some good vintage ones. So out of all these, okay, so like this one's pretty interesting. This is a Jimmy Buffett 2000. I would call this a retro, not so much a vintage. It's a Beach House Jimmy Buffett shirt, and it's from the 2000 tour. Pretty cool. Very kind of like relaxy, almost like psychedelic looking. Okay, so maybe I'll put this on eBay for like 20 bucks or something like that. In my booth, that could sell for like 14. We have a Royal Caribbean ship safe, I want to say, something like that, ship shape, which maybe is like the workout thing at a Royal Caribbean place, right? So you get on the cruise ship, you want to do some working out. Maybe that's what this is all about. These are all $1 shirts, 14 in my booth, maybe 20 on eBay, something like that, right? So we have Thriller Gorilla Picker says it's a retro swirl swan from the 70s. Oh, that's interesting. So here we go. Here's another one, Chuck Wagon Races, Bandera, Texas, blah, blah, blah. Semi-vintage shirt. Probably retro shirt, actually. That one's like $1, probably $4, 14 bucks in my booth. That one probably would never go to eBay. It's just not that, it's not that good enough, right? There's not enough subject matter going on in that one. Okay. Total sleepers, right? And for the people that are on Amazon and maybe you're restricted on mainstream DVD, right? Because not all the, you know, a lot of people might confuse, like there's a, what do I call it? There are two different sorts of DVD categories, right? I kind of classified like there's a mainstream one and then there's like a sub-mainstream one. Like I am ungated in the sub-mainstream, or that's just the way I call it. It's not what it's called, but that's the way I look at it. All right, so this is before my time, but I was at a garage sale, you know, just looking around. I saw this box and I was like, all right, cool. I looked at it and there's some sealed DVDs in there. So I'm like, all right, let me just go in there. They have barcodes. I was like, all right, even better. They're barcodes. So automatically, I think, whip out the cell phone, Amazon seller app, scan these things. All right, so there are 10 of these, I want to say. Maybe 9 of them. There are 9 of these things, and they're all Midnight Special, Burt Sugarman's from back in the 70s, right? Apparently, it was a show where he got a lot of musical performers to perform. And so on this particular DVD, for example, there's REO Speedwagon, Hall & Oates, Willie Nelson, Eddie Rabbitt, Brothers Johnson. So cool people on that one. Here's another year that they did the Midnight Special. This one's got Commodores, Journey, Beach Boys, Dolly Parton, Pointer Sisters. Okay, so like really, really good artists, right? And there's several years here. We have, it's actually complete. For the most part, it's missing 1972. But it's got 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, and 1980. So I'm missing 2 years here, right? That doesn't really matter because they have barcodes. Each individual one has its own listing on Amazon. And the lowest one here will net me $5. I paid $10 for this entire thing. And this is what your mind's got to be thinking. Like, what can I be sending into Amazon? What can I be sending into eBay? Look at all these boxes. If you're at a garage sale, and I was rolling with 2 other people at the garage sale. So, you know, if I wanted to go in and out real fast, like I have to consider maybe the other people don't want to do that, you know. So I got to look a little bit harder for profit. And so I looked in this box, saw that stuff. There are probably 2 out of these 9 that sell for about $5. The rest of them sell for 17 all the way up to 25 bucks a piece. So that's what they cut the check for. Think about it. So that's after fees and everything. There's some that are $17.90. There's some that are $16.95, $16.95. There's a couple $24.95 ones in there. Thought it was pretty cool though, right? Yeah. So they look like this. It's before my time. Midnight Special, Burt Sugarman's. I thought it was a good thing, but that's what you got to be thinking when you go to garage sales. You want to make the most out of your time. You want to make the most profit out of your 2 or 3 hours that you invest on a Saturday morning. You got to start thinking on all kinds of lines, not just eBay, you know, and Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You got to start thinking Amazon and all these other places. Maybe get an antique booth, you know, but you got to be thinking of ways to move all these items. So that was a good pickup right there. Now, if those things were used, I would not have picked them up. It's just the fact that they're new. It just screams Amazon to me, and I had to scan them. And by the way, the rank on all those in video DVD, right, is like 66K. So 66K in video DVD, I would estimate that that's probably in the top 5%, maybe top 10%. Still pretty good. I'm going to hustle it. I'm going to make the money on it. So anyways, let's see what else we got here. Not so much that's sell on eBay unless you find a really, really rare one, right? But Pearl Snap shirts I put in my booth. This was $1. Just going to go in my booth for like 17 to 24. Man, this thing almost destroyed that swan glass. Almost. Holy moly, that was close. Okay, sleeper things. My brother picked these up. These are brass bookends. So these are some sleeper things you might not be thinking about when you're at a garage sale and you're looking at random items on a shelf and you go, oh, okay, I see some bookends, and you go your normal route and you start looking for the normal things you look after. Maybe it might be worth your time to look at some of these bookends, right? So the main thing when I look at bookends, and I find every now and then some good ones, but I put them in the booth and they sell there, is the weight, right? If they're marble or granite or brass, that's going to be a good thing, and they're going to feel pretty substantial and heavy. These right here are made by Leonard. They're solid brass collection, and these will go on eBay. Emerson, my brother, bought them for like, what, $5 or maybe less, and they sell on eBay around $30. So that's not too bad, right? Pretty decent profit for something pretty small. I mean, for the most part, it could fit into a box that's pretty tiny, you know? So there we go. That was a pretty good pickup from him. Something that's a little bit more Super 8-ish, Stranger Things, if you may. I bought this for $1, and this is just a solid state Sharp cassette player or recorder. So everyone, I think, have seen this. If you've grown up in the early 80s or even part of the 70s, you would know exactly what this is. This is a TBD, which I don't know what this is going to sell for on eBay, but I would estimate somewhere in the vicinity of 30 to 50 bucks. So I think I'm going to take a swing on it. If I don't see the price that I want on eBay, I'm just going to put it in my booth for about 30 bucks, right? Pretty decent find right there. Okay. What else? You know, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to that. Hey, check it out. There's some fingerlings right here. Pretty rare fingerlings. I actually stumbled into a Target like last week, and these things were right on the shelf. So I was like, dude, I better pick these things up. So yeah, I got some fingerlings, which I'll probably be moving those on Craigslist or something like that. But I think that pretty much wraps up the video. I always forget to show you guys something. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid day of garage sailing. I'm actually editing the video right now. Not right now, obviously I'm talking to you guys, but on my computer in the other room, there's a video, and it's getting edited, and it's actually a pretty interesting kind of concept that I'm running through the video. So I want you guys to watch it, and you can see these things being picked up like in real time, and it's a lot of fun. So when you see that video drop on my channel, please hit the like button. I would really, really appreciate that. Outside of that, this garage is getting super hot. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to just give you guys some pointers and things to where when you go out this weekend coming up, you start getting a little bit more ammunition in your head, and you go, okay, I can look for those things that he talked about and the things that I love to look for. And only if it makes sense, pull the trigger on your side, okay? Make sure you do a little bit of on-the-spot research. But I'm trying to show you the things that I sell. And hopefully you'll really, you'll enjoy your garage selling days a little bit more. Maybe when you go to a thrift store, you're not under so much pressure because you have so many other things to really look for when you're dealing with eBay or Amazon. So enjoy the video. I enjoyed talking to you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.